solutions are better than the point-based solutions. So with that, let me start sharing my slides. So let's move on. So today we have an interesting agenda, and we also have our guest speaker who will also be talking on the same point and reflecting her views. So we will be starting with a quick introduction. Hi, I'm Sudipta Paul Chaudhary. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and the Growth Officer at Shorterloop. We will be talking more about the introduction and also talking about what are the differences in the point-based solution and also in the unified or the end-to-end product management solutions. And then we will also see the differences. We will also have a few of the comparative analysis. We'll also look into a few of the reviews and the customer case studies that we have. We would then move on to Kingshuk. Kingshuk will talk more about the unified management and talking about why Shorterloop, coming across as a unified product management solution. We will be having Kingshu could be talking about around 20-25 minutes, and then we will have Saraswati Nirmal. She is joining from Ericsson as a strategic product manager. We will have a few discussion with Saraswati. Please feel free to ask your questions during the guest speaker section and also during the introduction and also while Kingshuk is talking about. And we will also have a specific Q&A section specific to audience, and we would then have a quick poll and a few, sharing a few goodies, or you can say the few of the key insights that we have released in the last few weeks. We would like to share that with you. And so that is overall the agenda. Now let's move on. A little bit about me. I have overall 20 years of experience in working with various industry from SaaS, telco, e-commerce, health tech, retail tech, and AI, ML, Bitcoin, and of course, cybersecurity. A few of the companies that I've worked with are HP, Dell EMC, Oracle, Ericsson, Tally Solutions, Intuit, and OpenLM. Currently, I am working here and as a chief marketing officer. My overall operation spans into the overall global marketing leadership, looking into the entire branding, PR advertisement, competitive strategy planning, market research, doing the entire marketing analytics and the operations with the team, and also the partner marketing and the influencer marketing. I am also part of various universities as an advisory board. I have been a keynote speaker and been the panelist on various industry forums. I had touched the lives of 10,000 people, professionals, and also the students, and recently submitted a case study in Harvard Business Schools on GTM. So that's about me. As I grow, I also learn from all of you. Moving on to the next section, talking a little bit about Shorterloop. As you see the name Shorterloop, it's shortening the loop between the product idea or a business idea that anyone at any point of time they have, and they would like to really validate that idea. It's bringing that idea to us, shaping it finally to the market, launching it, and also looking into the continuous measure and the learn point of it. So we help companies to deliver revenue earning products, which is also customer centric and which is also adaptable and easily customizable. Moving on to little bit about us. So we are a unified end-to-end, I would say, product management company. You can say it's a super app for all the product work that you would really like to do. It's meant for the product teams, meaning the product leaders, the business executive people, the founders, and of course the people who are into design, who are also into product marketing. So we cater to all. We are industry agnostic and we are also size agnostic. At whatever the stages your organizations are and whatever the stages you are developing your product, Shorter Loop suits to your needs, each business need. The main key proposition that we help companies to shorten their product life cycle by launching faster product by 80% reduction in the cycle time and 53% reduction in the product market risk. We also believe that we do have a freemium model. We provide a 14-day free trial. Currently, it's an exciting summer offer that we are giving to all the the product leaders, whichever business or whichever industry they are, and you can learn more about us by going into shorterloop.com. Also, you have seen, maybe you have seen this earlier, we have been nominated, we have been rewarded and recognized on various platforms globally. Recent awards have been, we have been the top rated player in the software suggest, and also TechPoint. This is one of the US-based company that reviews all the product management software. And on G2, we have been consistently rating third time as one of the leaders. And on SourceForge, Crosstest, Product Hunt, and also CV Insight, this is a market analytics, or I would say it's a analysis platform where they rate each and every software, looking into their feature portfolio, and then they kind of review it, and then they publish their review in details. So that's about us. Moving to the next one. So in a nutshell, we are solving the entire product life cycle stages, putting it in one product. And if you see on the right hand side, it helps you to ideate, listen, understand the overall insights from the market, understand your customer feedback, helps you to experiment, creating solutions and the design, and then finally delivering your
नहीं वो अभी नहीं खाएंगे थोड़ी देर से खाएंगे.
Could you please mute your lines? If there are questions, you can please ask me at any point of time. Yeah, thank you so much. So it then helps you to deliver the overall minimum viable product or your skeleton of the first product, that you again take it to the market, get an early feedback on how, when the product is shaping up, how is it, getting that feedback and then put that into the process, finally building the final product, and then you learn and measure, and after that you continuously, that loop goes where based on this learn and measure, you understand what is going good, what is not going good, you plan better, you strategize it. If you already have a product that you have in the market and you are really want to, you want to work on the launches and the releases, concurrent feature releases, improvement, then this is a model where you look into your existing roadmap and come up with a new roadmap for the newer releases, strategize based on the business objectives. I'm sharing a couple of case studies that Shorter Loop has been, part of few of the global customers, both from US, EMEA, and APAC, fintech, supply chain tech, travel tech, software development, and there are a few other case studies. So please feel free to go and share, check these case studies. And also these are the few of the use cases. So if you are an enterprise, Shorterloop helps you to digitally transform and create the innovation sustainably, because this is also very important, looking into the ESG part of it, which is, and also looking into the green part of it. And while you are scale up and you are really looking for an accelerated growth, Shorterloop also supports you that stage. And for a startup, if you are really looking for, if that is the right idea that you have, if that is the right target market that you think your product would be the successful, it helps you to do unlimited experimentation, doing a continuous discovery, and also helps you secure your funding from various investors. So I would say that to know more about us, please do look at these places. Moving to our key topic for today is that what is a point-based solutions? Any questions, guys? Any comments? What do you think? What is a point-based solution? Anything on the chat? Okay, I don't see, but yeah, let me go ahead. You can please feel free. These are some of the housekeeping rules. Go ahead and put your question on the chat. Ask at any point of time. You can raise your hand. You can also unmute yourselves. You can turn on your camera and talk. This is currently streaming on YouTube and also on LinkedIn, and it's being recorded. Yeah, so let's go ahead and understand what is a point-based solution. So as the name says, point-based solution, these are the specific tools meant for the specific stages of the product development life cycle. And these are helpful at some point to make it, easy to use. Maybe, some point of the time it has some in-depth functions. It also, but if you really look into the point-based integration, it also has a point-based solution. It also has issues with integrations because these are more of a standalone tool. Even though they are solving a problem of a specific product life cycle stage, when it comes to integrating or stitching to the entire product life cycle stage, maybe it's a waterfall or it's agile, whichever the modular way you are focusing on your product development, it may not be suitable. Now, some of the point-based solutions that you can see today, there are plenty. I have just taken few of them just to make it understand. We have different solutions for user feedback and the surveys, like SurveyMonkey, Typeform, there is a JotForm. For project management, we have Asana, we have ClickUp, we have Trello. For analytics, we have Mixpanel, Google Analytics. For feedback and support, we have, Zendesk, User Voice. Prototyping and designing, you have Sketch, Innovation, even Figma is there. Development and issue tracking, Jira and GitHub. And then there are a few of the other specific tools like a road mapping or, looking into your sentiment analysis, specific to your market research and things like that. So what are the use cases when you generally use a point-based solution? Now let's see that. So let's take one use case and please do think, let me know if you are able to resonate with this. So let's say this is a case where a specific product has been launched and marketing team is looking to gather feedback from the users about their early experience about the recent product launch. And in this case, marketing team, and even if you think it's as a big organization, different teams use different tools. So in that case, marketing team is specifically using a survey feedback tool where they have designed the survey. They are also using the link, and then they are putting those feedback in the CRM. So here, CRM is a separate solution, and the user feedback management, the tool that they're using, it's a separate solution. Now here, the outcome that marketing team is trying to achieve is gathering the feedback, and most of the time it's manual, going through all the feedback, creating the PowerPoint, creating the analysis, understand the recommendation and the conclusion on your own, which takes a lot of time, in fact, in this specific case. And then you need to, feed those feedback, mapping it to the CRM. Many of the times you will find that the point-based solutions like this are also integrated with CRM. So it can be mapped as per each customer. So this could be one of the use cases. The second use cases could be, like let's say it's a mid-market kind of a tech company where a product leader is there, and he or she is working on a strategic roadmap for a new software product. Now, using a point-based solution, the product manager will be able to set up for specific goals the product is trying to deliver in the market, satisfying the key problem the market has or the key expectations the customer has, and prioritizing that feature and able to plot that on the roadmap and creating a visual roadmap. But there could be issues that how product managers are only using the product road mapping tool and the rest of the organizations are not using. And most of the time when you go and give access, it becomes every license, because these are all SaaS products, so every license costs you. So in that case, it will not be a feasible solution that giving that access to all other team who really needs to see it, view it, give their comments. So overall collaboration or the communication becomes a problem when you are using a specific road mapping solution. And therefore, when you have to communicate your product what the product is and why this product. It is also a lot of to and fro communication that happens between a product leader and also with the other departments, like for example, sales, marketing, the leadership team, the customer success, because they are all front facing teams and they are coming back. And on top of that, the development is asking, okay, how do I really get to see the roadmap? So that becomes an issue. But if you see the goal of a product manager who is using the product road mapping tool, in that case, the outcome would be he or she is able to draw the roadmap, he or she is able to clarifying the objective, and he or she is also able to tell what is the product strategy, and then kind of taking a quick snapshot or something, sending it to the stakeholders and having the discussion more offline, but not right on the tool. The real-time update in the tool becomes cumbersome or sometimes non-existent. Now we look into some of the practical challenges here. And as you see, when you use a product-based point-based solution, we already talked about the integration issues, because I just give you an example where the feedback and the CRM, let's say if they are not integrated, right, then it becomes an issue. How do you really map? If an executive is going to meet the customer and he or she needs to see what is the customer feedback and what has come recently in the survey, that becomes a problem. Or let's say there is a service desk from Zapier or from your Zoho service desk or from Salesforce or HubSpot. You have captured those customers issues, but that is not really showing up in the user feedback tool or the product roadmap tool or the analytics tool that you are using. So these are all disjointed solutions, and making a sense out of all of this becomes a very, very cumbersome and a manual job for a product leader to do it. So that is one thing. It also gives you the data silos, because somewhere your user journey is broken. You got the feedback, but you don't know what the user is really looking for the next release, until and unless you go and have a discussion initiated with that. Or it could be there has been some other team has gone and met the customer, but that information is not really reflecting in the product point management tool that you are using. So it becomes data fragmentation. It gives you a very altogether a very distorted view of what is the market looking, what is that I as a product leader developing or trying to create my product strategy absolutely agile and customer centric, and how do I tie all the expectation of my other stakeholders. So these are the problems that we talked already, the disjointed processes. And of course, once you try to buy another tool, so let's say you are using for designing your MVP, you are using a different tool. Road mapping, you are using a different tool. User feedback, you are using a different tool. And when you add up all the cost, it becomes a very bulky for a product manager to get that budget approved from at a company level, and at a different geographies, or I would say the current economies that where we are moving in. It becomes extremely difficult that how do you really show the value of it having all these tools. So, and then there are also hidden expenses, because with this tool only the members who are working on the product management, they are working. But when you have to show this quickly to your stakeholder who doesn't really work on product management, but his or her say is very important as a stakeholder, then how will you give him or her the additional access, because it will cost you. So a lot of administrative overhead, fragmented user experiences, and the overall cost, it shoots up. So what we have also looked into a lot of players in the market, and we have done a comparative analysis. Please do resonate and reflect and provide your inputs as well, because we are really willing to hear from you. And here you can see, for example, when you look into the overall aspect, we have taken few of these attributes, and then we have compared point-based versus an end-to-end platform. So now let's say efficiency-wise, point-based solution will work for that particular product stage of that life cycle that you are working. But when you have to deliver the efficiency by working and collaborating with other people. Because of the fragmented tools and the disjointed workflows and the work processes, a lot of manual work, as I said, that manual feedback management and also data transfer from, you take the dump of the data from your product roadmap or maybe from your user feedback, then you put it in another tool where you do the analysis, and it becomes absolutely cumbersome, and it also becomes redundant. Whereas for an end-to-end platform, there is a smooth flow and many things get automated. It is empowering the product leader, whichever the product management function that you are working for your product, it empowers all of them and give a very seamless flow towards the product development lifecycle. When it comes to collaboration, as you have already seen that, yes, siloed communication, whereas here it is a more integrated and it gives more visibility for an unified product management platform. And the real-time updates are not always at a real time possible. There are a lot of synchronization that happens manually, and you, if your customer or your leader who has reviewed and given a comment, you immediately may not be able to see it in that particular point-based solution. Whereas in the end-to-end point, and you get a notification, and then based on that, you can see what has been updated, who has given what comments, and accordingly, you can work, finalize, and grow forward. The data-driven decision is also another issue in a point-based solution, because the analytics and the data is not fully there across the user journey. It's broken. Therefore, your view or insights, whatever you are trying to draw, that is also broken. And the metrics are not consistent. So at every user journey, you have different metrics. So if I take an example of let's say when you are at a very early stage of your product, for you, customer acquisition makes more sense. But when the product has been established in the market, more user engagement, the retention, giving them that, limelight, that how they are using the product, coming up with the new innovation possibilities, that is important. So different stage of users, different metrics come to the priority. So understanding that and keeping all those metrics in one place becomes also a problem for a point-based solution, whereas in end-to-end, it is all in one page, or it gives you a one view. Some more thing when it comes to customization and the flexibility, yes, it gives you some flexibility, point-based solution, and you can do a little bit of customization in the tool. But if you are really looking for giving you more ability to customize, and that may not be possible. Whereas for an end-to-end, yes, it gives you a better flexibility, and of course, it gives you a lot of customization throughout the cycle of the product. Implementation and maintenance, it's a high maintenance, high cost for point-based complex implementation, because you also have to integrate with other things, and every time there is something coming manually, you have to add that. So implementation and the maintenance, it becomes higher, whereas for end-to-end, it is not really the case. And for cost consideration, yes, if you are only looking for one product within the product, but when the product management team grows and managing everything on different tools, it becomes increasing the silo. Point-based solution doesn't really work. It increases the cost, as I was giving you those examples earlier. Whereas for end-to-end platform, it helps you to predict your cost, keep your cost in line and in control. You make your managers happy and also your company happy, in a word. So let's look at, we did a few, I would say we have taken some formidable players in the market, and I didn't really want to name it out, but once I go through, you will know this. So player A, B, these are some of the known product management tools in the market. And if you see the point management tools, more or less the key things that is coming out is that to some point, it has the ease of use. It has some specific usage or the specific features. It gives you some amount of flexibility. But if you also look into the cons part of it, they also have a lot of missing features. Using or understanding how that interface would work, or the poor interface, that becomes really a problem. Expensive, it has coming out expensive everywhere. Your learning curve becomes steeper, because sometimes these point-based solutions is so cumbersome to understand and manage if you are not coming from the tech-savvy background, or even though you are a tech-savvy, but it is not that intuitive that user can find out things easily. So that becomes an issue. And usability is also a problem. So yeah, these are the different things that we have identified. But point-based solution, as I said, if you are doing only task management and there is a point-based tool, why not? Please go ahead and do it. If there is your only objective is to do the feedback management, please go ahead and do it. They use only the survey or feedback management tool, right? So it's up to you. You decide how you think, because throughout this webinar, we are trying to educate you what are the different players and what are the pros and cons. But at the end of the day, based on your requirement and your company's requirement, you decide what is the best for you. So moving on to some of the customer reviews that we have taken it from G2 on the point-based solutions. As you, I have kind of make few of the things striking it out here. It's showing prominently. One is definitely the UI, overall UX is not that great, so it becomes very cumbersome. And when you try to upgrade, its subscription costs are very, it's really hits your pocket. The second thing is, few of the times, when you are trying to upgrade, certain members who are not a heavy user, but they are just a guest user, they want to come, see, review, and go back. If you want to buy a license for them, you will not get a free license for them. You have to kind of upgrade and get a full license for them. So there is no such specific license. Some cases, some of the road mapping tool, when we have researched, we identified that you cannot really copy your roadmap and share it with your stakeholders who doesn't have access to your product management tool. And of course, the portfolio feature in the roadmap, the combining the roadmap into a single view, that becomes a problem. So if a product leader, let's say a CTO or a executive CEO wants to see how the product is functioning or how the product is moving, and he or she doesn't have to get inside the feature, stories, epics. For him or her, what is important is what are the key things we are delivering this quarter, next quarter, and when is the launch date? Are we in alignment with the launch date or not? Just taking an example. So that becomes a problem. But when it is a development team who are really working with your the product manager day in and day out, and also with the designers, for them every bit of details very important, the features, the user stories, and everything. So in that case, they need a much detailed product. So how you can do a kind of a drill down, and when you don't need it, you just see only the overview of it. That kind of flexibility is missing. And some of the cases, it is also there that most of these tools are not having the analytics, other analytics tools integrated, and also they are not that designed well, so the UI UX really suffers. It doesn't really have the program management capability. User becomes frustrated when they start doing something and then they find, oh, this is not there, and then they go back to their sheets or Word document, or the what they were doing earlier without using the tool. They feel it's much more time saving for them and much more productive for them. Now coming to this, we have also looked into the various products and also shorter loop. So we are when we look into the product ABCD, they do have some cases they are providing free trial, but some cases they don't have a free trial. They are starting with a very steep price, which is sometimes hitting for a one license you need to pay that big price. It becomes a problem. Sometimes some of the players don't have a pricing segment. There is a flat one-time fee. When you and they provide different plan based on whatever the company sizes are. So when we have compared all these costs with our cost, we find that our product helps you to save more than 30% of your product management cost. And we few of the cases you will also find few of the products starting with it's a very high price, like a 400, 500, or $800 per year. And so when we compare our things, we feel that compared to the unified management tool that we have, and so we are much more value for money, providing communicating the value across to all the product communities who are using. And it's up to you how you want to take it. What is your need? That's absolutely absolutely your decision. But yeah, we are making things easy for you so that you can use it for your business. You find the value and share with us your good feedback. A few of the other things we also looked into the roadmap tool, the idea management, and the whiteboard. A few of the cases, some of these features are not there in those point-based tools, as I said, and their price is also even if they are providing their pricing steps starts at a much lesser plan. So it's like only enterprise plan is there or only growth plan is there. But for a small medium sized business or the person who is a one army person, for them those there is no pricing plan. Even for a enterprise and also for a scale up the cost, sometimes when you add on that you want to take roadmap and idea management, whiteboard and product, you add on all this cost, which becomes very expensive totally. So now coming to the unified product management approach, if we really look into, I'm not talking about shortly, but I'm talking about overall an end-to-end product management or a super app which provides all the product management capabilities in one platform. It gives you the efficiency, it makes your processes more streamlined, it helps you to talk live through your tool with the other departments. Everybody can see everyone's processes and they understand syncs up very well. It actually also stimulates the positive I would say the dopamine of taking things faster, working really as a team, growing together, sharing ideas openly, using different ways of showcasing the brainstorming session. So that becomes an advantage. It's not becomes just a tool, but it becomes your bloodline or your lifeline of your health, if I say a product health. And of course decision making is very important, because that way everybody can see and take their own decision, and they also know what is the company's overall decision and they got aligned with that. So that's about the efficiency part of it. As I told, it definitely brings teams closer. So if you are working locally or globally with different countries, different cities, it makes that communication, that sharing things, including whatever the product development stages, whether it's you are doing a kind of the blueprint of your product, or you are doing in the development stage and you want to see a quick look how things are going, or as I told you that at different role of the product team that is there, right? Other than the product managers and the developers, there are other teams that is there, business analyst and everyone like who needs to see what going on and accordingly plan for it. Sales and marketing, everybody, it makes it easy. And sharing the resources, and of course the whether it's a sharing customer feedback or sharing a stakeholder feedback, or there is a quick feedback on your roadmap or a segmentation, that becomes easy. Of course, the real-time update, that is another thing, because it's tightly integrated and within the because all the product development stages are integrated. So your real-time updation, immediate getting the notification, looking inside the product, accessing the product from your mobile, that becomes easy and quickly respond to that. So yeah, responsiveness becomes faster. Data-driven decision we have already talked about. So now coming to why do you think that when we looked into all this research and when we were looking into shorter, we felt that it is better compared to all the other point-based solutions, and why we say so? We have a few research proofs, and I'm going to share this in my next slide with you. So this was a recent G2, the product management vendor analysis that G2 has done. And among 85 product management software, Shorterloop has come 3 times in a row, one of the leaders. And as you see that we have been rated based on various factors, and between 1 to 7, our ranking goes from quality of support to ease of use to analytics, road mapping, helping you to budget, identify your product road mapping timelines, and if you're in alignment with that, if it is meeting the customer requirements and also your business objective requirements, project management, and how our customers find our product is, pricing is, and the different communities that we have, and overall collaboration, workflow automation, task management, release forecasting. So this is where we come. We have been rated 4.8 out of 5. So that's about it. And these are the couple of the awards that you have earlier seen. On Entrepreneur recently this year, we have been awarded as Best AI Powered Product Management. And these are some of our customers. We have around 1,000 plus product teams who are using from different industries. And there are big players, there are medium, there are small players. There are also many startups who are using it. That's about it. So if you would like to know more, you can do two things. You can take a free trial. Just follow this link and take a free trial. It's a product-led growth, so you can just find out very easily, how is the product. Do share your feedback. How did your trial go? Go. I am available on LinkedIn, and of course, my entire team is available on LinkedIn. Please share the feedback. Or if you want to, have a quick demo with us, you can also send us an email. My email ID is also sudipta@shorterloop.com. I'll put that on the chat. And with that, I will just take a quick pause for a few minutes. If you guys have any questions for me, guys, please raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask questions. Feel free to put your question on chat as well. Don't see any questions as of now. Okay, no worries. Don't feel shy. Really would like to make it a more collaborative and two-way discussion process. So with this, I will give it to. Okay, before I give it to Kingshuk, few of the case studies, if you would like, you can go through it. So we have startup case studies as well, and then we also have a big supply chain tech from US. They are also using our platform, and they have been very satisfied with the overall improvement in their customer satisfaction score and also the adoption rate and the retention rate. They have used our product right from the discovery to the planning and also the delivering stage of it. This is another agile fintech banking and financial company where using Shortly, they were able to reduce their time to market by 30% with increasing the product innovation 25%. And yeah, with that, I would like to I would like to welcome our CEO, Kingshuk Kaler. He would be talking more about Shorter Loop and its unified product management solution. Thank you so much, guys. So I'll stop sharing. Maybe Kingshuk, you can take it over.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can see my screen. Sudipta, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, Kingshuk. Hi, Avnish. Thanks, guys.
So, hi, everyone. My name is Kinshuk Kale. I'm the founder and CEO of Shorterloop. A little bit about me. I have been in product management for almost 20 years. By training, I'm an engineer. So I've been in software development for 25 years, been in a lot of different roles. But the challenge that I love and the problem that I really want to solve is how to help teams, product teams, who are staffed by really, really smart people, but still fail to often deliver great products, how to help them. That's the challenge, that's the problem that we are trying to solve in Shorterloop. So let me ask you a question. Would you like to deliver products fast while reducing the risk of failure? Now, because you are all in this webinar, I'm just going to assume on your behalf that that is true. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So the trick to do that is to follow a certain process that we call continuous discovery. What is continuous discovery? So continuous discovery is basically a way of being for product teams where instead of doing your customer research, once or every few months or every year in the life cycle of your product, you try to talk to your customers every week, because your customers are the ones shaping your product, and your product exists to fulfill some pressing need of your customer or to solve an important problem for them. But the funny thing is, the needs of your customers are ever changing. So, for example, there is a famous saying from this show called Mad Men. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but it was quite famous in US. One of the sayings in that is, what is happiness? So happiness is that short moment before you want more happiness. And this might not be a philosophy to live by, but this, when it comes to customer satisfaction and delivering value to your customer, uh, these there are no words more true than this. Because as you fulfill your customers one need, as you solve one of their problems, it is going to unlock couple more problems for them. So for example, hey, I can now create very nice, let's say, PowerPoint presentations in Canva. Okay, great. But now I want to be able to share them. So I want to be able to export them, and I want to export them as PDF. Oh, okay, great. You have PDF. Okay, now I also want PowerPoint, etc.
Lost you, as it looks like.
Oh, is
Okay.
there a problem? Can
Yeah, there was a pause, but now you're back. Yes.
okay. Where did I pause?
Some 10 seconds when you are talking about you are asking the question and you are talking about the last sentence, I would say. Yeah, that is where it was paused.
Did you hear my line about what is happiness? Because that is important. I love that line and I'm proud of it. Did everyone hear that?
Yeah, let me ask, guys, did you hear that what Kinshuka
Can you
said?
tell me what is happiness? Who can tell me what is happiness? Someone? Anyone? Okay, I'm gonna have to repeat it because I'm not seeing anyone type. So what is happiness is that short moment before you want more happiness. The point is that customer happiness, customer satisfaction is fleeting. And as you unlock your customers, or as you solve your customers one need, as you solve their one problem, it is going to unlock another pressing problem that they didn't know existed, but now it does because you fulfilled one of their needs. So giving example of Canva allows me to basically create beautiful presentations online, and that's a very pressing need, and Canva solved it. But now the next need is I want to be able to share them as PDFs, because maybe I want to send notes to attendees. And so Canva does that. But now I also want to share it as PowerPoint because maybe I want to send it to someone who doesn't have access to Canva, and so on. So as you fulfill one need of your customer, it will unlock other needs. So your product is continuously changing because your customers' needs are continuously changing. And because of that, product teams have to continuously search for new information about your users' needs. And you have to continuously look for the next problem that you can solve and make your customers happier. So it is a sustained practice, so it never stops. It continuously goes on, of experimentation and customer conversation. So you continuously talk to your customers, you try to identify what problem can we solve for them, then you run some experiment to validate that, okay, my solution really works and this problem is really a big problem. And then based on that, then you build your product, and that's how you make your decisions. And if you follow this process, you will find that you are delivering faster because you're not trying to deliver the whole product in one chunk in 12 months, but you are delivering something new, something important every month or every couple of months. And it reduces your risk because you are running experiments. So you are validating your assumptions, you are really understanding the customer's needs, and you're making sure that your solution is actually solving the customer's problem. And that's why continuous discovery is such an important process um, for your customers. So if you look at the continuous discovery, the basics of it, continuous discovery has basically 4 things that teams need to master. First is you have to discover, especially if you are starting out as a startup. First, you have to discover. You have to understand your market space. You have to talk to your customers. You have to discover their needs. Based on your discovery, you will come up with some strategy. So the strategy will be some vision, some value proposition that you will discover, some plan to deliver that value proposition, and some sort of a roadmap and so on. Once you have that strategy, you have to deliver on that strategy. So you will build your solution, you will manage your backlog, you plan releases, you launch a product. And once your product is in the hands of your customers, you have to measure, because we are delivering product to fulfill some business objectives. And then you have to see, did we actually meet those objectives or not? If yes, great. If not, why not? And then that cycle continues. And this happens every month, not every 3 months or not every year or 6 months. This should happen every month, because that's how you gain speed. I'm going to skip this slide. So if you look at continuous discovery process as supported by short loop, you will see that there are 4 phases. As I said, there's strategize. Strategize basically means you have your business model, you plan your roadmaps based on your business model, because there are certain business objectives that you want to achieve, and you decide what business objective you are going to achieve in what planning interval. Then based on those business objective, based on your plan, you start understanding your customers better. So you're trying to discover opportunities where you can really make an impact on your customer. And these come from 2 places. One of the places is your basic market research. So talk to the customers, read industry, trade news, go survey your users or survey your potential customers, talk to your subject matter experts, and so on and so forth. That's your market research. And the other part is customer feedback. So this doesn't apply necessarily to startups, but if you are an established company, you already have customers using your products. And what is better discovery than to mine them for the feedback? So from these 2 places, from market research and from talking to your existing customers, you discover opportunities for improvement. Once you have those opportunities, you try to come up with a number of solutions, because what you don't want to do is zero in on one solution from the very beginning, achieve a very early convergence, and then later on decide or discover that, oh, there was a better solution, we just never came up with it because we are all so focused on this one idea. So you want to come up with multiple solutions. And so then obviously you can't implement all the solutions at once. So you have to order them, and you have to pick a solution that is best at the moment. So you do that with 2 things. One is you run some experiment. Other is you try to come up with some kind of a prioritization algorithm. So it can be value versus effort. It can be, the least or weightage shortage job first. It can be RICE, what have you. So you use some kind of a prioritization framework, and you pick a solution. Then you turn that solution into one of your work items. It can be like a big initiative or an epic, or it can be a feature. It can be a very small user story, but can be of a huge impact. So it doesn't matter. So you do that. Then you deliver that solution, put it in the hands of customers, and start measuring. And that's the process supported by shorter loop. So now I'm going to quickly switch to a demo. By the way, does anyone have any questions before we switch to demo? So there's a question from
Yeah,
Avinash.
there is a question from, Avanish, yeah.
What metrics or KPI should be used to measure success of a continuous discovery initiative? Right. So so now you're not talking about the success of the product itself, but the success of your process. So health of your process. So one thing that you should really monitor and measure is how many customer conversations are we having, let's say, per week. So are we having at least one conversation with customers or not? And if not, then you have to find out why not. Second thing you can really measure is how many experiments have we run. Are we running enough experiments to make sure that our assumptions are valid, or are we just building a bunch of things without really thinking about whether they make sense or not? That is another thing. And my question to you is also, what if you run 5 experiments and 4 of those experiments fail? Is that a bad thing? So in 4 of the cases, your hypothesis turned out to be wrong, and in one case, that hypothesis turned out to be right. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Who can tell me? Just type good, bad, yes, no. Okay, I'm not seeing any response, but so I'll just tell you that's a good thing, because if your experiments fail, at least it is telling you that, oh, we made some wrong assumptions. That's fine. And running an experiment has actually saved us from going down the wrong track. So the word failure itself is not correct in this context. So that was a trick question. There are no failed experiments. Even if a hypothesis is proven wrong, the experiment is still successful because it gave you some learnings. So with that, let's switch to the demo. So as I showed you in this diagram, it can start with two places. One is, if you are an established company, you will start with your roadmap. If you're a startup, it will start with your market research. So maybe let's start with your market research. So let's start with discovery. So in shorter loop, if you are a new startup, you can create a really good vision for your product. So you can start with a vision statement. You can identify some target groups. These are your potential customers who are going to use your product. You can identify their needs. You can identify some objective for your business, and you can identify what your product is going to be. Now, keep in mind, vision canvas is supposed to be dynamic. Only thing that is immutable or constant to a large extent on this canvas is your vision statement, because that is your dot on the horizon. That's where you want to go. Everything else, how to go there, might change. Your target groups might change, their needs might change, business objectives might change, and your product itself might change. But this just gives you a way to start. So this just tells you, okay, these are our initial assumptions. This is where we are going to start. So you identify some customer target groups. You can also use our AI to identify some. So in this case, for example, the team itself identified like 4 different target groups. And then they were kind of stuck. So they asked the AI, and then AI came up with 3 more that were not obvious to the team in the beginning. So that way AI can help you look beyond what is obvious and come up with new things. So once you identify these personas, you want to then think about what do these people want to accomplish? What are their gains? What are their pains? How they want to work? So for that, you build a customer persona. So what is a customer persona? It's basically a snapshot of your customer or ideal customer profile. So it has got some biography, some quotes, some demographic information, obviously a picture to make it very real. And the most important part is it can have some, it needs to have some goals, as in what is your customer trying to accomplish. It has to have some gains. So what do they enjoy about their current process? And what sort of pains do they suffer? What are the blockers in their path while they're trying to achieve these goals? Once you have this sort of a profile of your customer, then you have to figure out, okay, so if this is what our customer wants, and if these are their problems, how we are going to solve them. So that is your value proposition. So as you can see, we came from our vision to persona, right? So your vision is connected to your personas, and now your persona is going to be connected to your value proposition. So okay, so there are many personas here, so I'm just going to show you an existing one. So as you can see, the right hand side of a new persona is already filled out, because you just did all that work filling, interviewing people, fleshing out the details. So you don't need to do it again. So on the right hand side, you will see this sort of a thing where you have noted their gains, pains, and the jobs they want to do. And then as a team, your job is to sit down and figure out, okay, if this is what our the customers' challenges, and if these are the things they enjoy, how can we improve the things that they already enjoy, and how can we reduce the things that they find painful about it. And so these will be some ideas. This is the time to, brainstorm, come up with solutions, come up with ideas. And this is where the team will come up with a number of things. And you can also definitely ask AI about different solutions. And once you have those solutions, now the problem is that there are a lot of assumptions here. So you need to make sure that your assumptions, your hypotheses are correct. And to ensure that, you can run some experiments. So you can create an experiment, you can give a start date and end date, because we want to be time boxed in this. We don't have infinite time. You also want to limit your costs, because we don't have infinite money either. And then once you have created this experiment, it shows you on the canvas that, okay, we have certain assumptions built in and we are trying to run some experiment, but a lot of experiments have not passed, or we haven't even started them. So we don't know whether our hypotheses are correct or incorrect or whatnot. So we have to be very careful in how we deal with this value proposition. So we need to first ensure that our assumptions are accounted for, and then we can move forward. So what we have done so far is we have started with a vision, and we have come to a point where we have a decent value proposition. Assume that all these experiments are passed. So we have a validated value proposition for our customers. And now is the time to build this value proposition. And to build this value proposition, what you do is you create an impact map. And this is what an impact map looks like. Impact map has 5 columns in ShortLoop. So it always has a business objective. It had some actor. So because we created this impact map for a particular value proposition, which was health conscious individual, and we also have some gain creators and pain relievers. So we already know what sort of impact we need to have them. So all this information is already filled out for us. So let me show you an impact map that is already existing. So we started with a business objective called we want to capture 20% of health conscious individual market. Now, health conscious individual, that's exactly our persona. So then this is the actor, this is the person we need to have an impact on. There might be others, like maybe suppliers or restaurant owners or whatnot. And the impact that we want to have on them, this comes from our value proposition, is we want to make healthy meals easy to find and prepare. Okay, great. If that is the case, then what sort of solutions can we build for them? So if you look at these solutions, so some of the solutions are we want to provide personalized health meal plans. We want to offer convenient, ready to eat meals, and so on and so forth. You can continue adding items. You can also ask our AI, and then AI can also fill out those details for you. So these are your big solutions. And then if I want to provide personalized healthy meal plans, then what are my deliverables? So what are the features of my solution? So one of the features is we want to build customizable meal plans based on dietary restrictions. Other is easy to use and intuitive planning interface. We want to have wide variety of ingredients, and so on and so forth. So these are all the features of this solution. So once you are satisfied with your impact map, you can go ahead and turn these deliverables into the work items that your team will be delivering. So the hierarchy that we use, the work item hierarchy that we use in ShortLoop is epic, features, and user stories. So now what we have done is we started with a vision. We created some customer personas. We created our value proposition for that persona. Based on that value proposition and based on our business objective, we created some deliverables for our customers, which ultimately become our backlog. So if you look at our product backlog, this is what it looks like. So it has got, if you start with epics, you will see epics. Epics have user stories. Epics can have features. Features can have user stories, and so on and so forth. So you get the full hierarchical backlog, and it is all connected to your product vision, to your personas. So everything you do had some basis in your previous work, and all that information is available to your engineering team. So now imagine that you have released this product. Let's skip up a little bit. I'm going to avoid, not show some boring stuff, which is basically how do you create releases and how do you launch things and so on. That's not important. What is important is getting feedback from your customers. So once you launch your product in the market, it comes to the place where you have to get ideas and feedback from your customers. And for that, you can create your own portal, and you can invite your customers to give feedback and submit ideas to you, so that you don't have always time to, and your customers also don't have always time to, answer your interview questions and so on. But you can simply invite them to your portal, and then they will be happy to give you feedback in their own time. And you can also integrate other feedback mechanisms like intercom and other things with shorter loops, so those ideas can also flow here. Once you have collected these ideas, then you have a different problem, also an interesting problem, a good problem to have, but the problem nevertheless, which is now you have to read through like hundreds of ideas and suggestions and feature requests and issues and all that, and that's very time consuming. And that's a perfect use case for AI. So with shorter loops AI, you can generate, so as you can see, you can generate some themes based on the ideas that you have received with our AI. So I did this earlier, and our AI has come up with like 20 different or 5 different categories, and or 6 different categories, and each of these categories have some ideas. So for example, blogging and platform enhancements had some ideas. So let's go ahead and look at these 20 ideas. So again, you don't need to read through these 20. I mean, I would recommend reading them. But if you don't want to read through all those ideas, if it is a slog for you, you can also generate a summary of all these ideas with our AI. And then AI will tell you, the summary of all these ideas, and also what is the problem behind these ideas or these issues. Because a very wise and senior product manager once told me that your customers will sometimes just lie to you, especially when it comes to feature requests and so on, because often they don't themselves know what is needed. So your job is to look beyond their feedback, and go to the heart of the problem, which is what we are training our AI to do. The other thing you can do is identify opportunities based on this feedback. And again, these opportunities as well have been identified with the help of our AI. You are welcome to do this yourself. So you can always create your own opportunities, or you can identify more opportunities. Once you have something like this, you can convert these opportunities either into work item, or you can put them on your roadmap like this. So, and based on your roadmap, or based on the objectives on your roadmap, you can start working on them. So for example, one of our objectives here is complete complete the interactive experience. This is an objective that we have planned to do in M1, which is, let's say, the planning interval of 1 month on this roadmap. So now, if you go into this objective, you can start planning opportunities and solutions for this object. So the other way to do this is, we want to complete our interactive experience. So what are the opportunities? So one of the opportunities that we identified, as you probably saw that on the idea manager, It was, we want to increase our community engagement and collaborative event scheduling. Okay, if we want to do that, then what sort of solutions can we implement? So one of the solutions could be integrated community forums, another could be collaborative event scheduling, and third could be robust moderation. So then here we can go ahead and check what is the reach, impact, confidence, and effort. So what is the RICE prioritization for these particular solutions? And then based on this, we can calculate a score and we can pick one. So let's say we picked integrated community forum and live chat. So before we start work on that, we want to validate whether it makes sense to actually do this or not. And so in order to validate that, we created a couple of experiments. And now we can basically track these experiments, because now we can see which we can track these. Well, we can track these opportunities, we can track these solutions, and we can track these experiments. So in experiment, we can see that, okay, one experiment is done, other experiment is still in progress, and we can also, we can move this experiment to different lanes and track them and so on. So that makes it easier for your team to have a complete overview of all the opportunities, solutions, and experiments together. And remember, these opportunities are not generated out of thin air. These are actually coming from your idea manager. And then the other thing is, because we are creating these opportunities, because we have this objective, complete interactive experience, we have this objective because we are looking to move some business metrics. So it makes sense to add those business metrics right here on this objective. So let's say that we're hoping that once we complete our interactive experience, so let's say this is going to improve our NPS score. So NPS score increase or something like that. And we can say, well, the unit is nothing. The benchmark is we want to have at least 30 or more. And we can see this as a timeline or not. It depends on us whether we want to add it to our main dashboard or not. By when do we want to achieve it? Let's say next month. And what is the current value doesn't matter. So we create this, and then we can continue to add values. So you can add values manually. So let's say today it is 10, and after a few minutes it is 20. So you can measure these values in real time, or you can measure them every day or what have you. And you can either enter them manually, or you can use our API endpoint to send data to short loop, and then those experiments will be automatically be shown here. Now,
sorry to interrupt you. You have 2 more minutes.
Yeah. So before, so I just want to cover one more thing that just shows you how we again connect everything together. So remember in the idea manager, I have to go to our idea manager. In the idea manager, we said you can also convert these ideas into features and user stories and opportunities and whatnot. So this idea was converted into a feature. So if we look at this feature, we can see that all that feedback has already come to the engineering team. So when the engineering team starts work on this particular work item, they can see all the feedback. So this is not just one item of feedback. If there are multiple ideas connected to this feature, all those will be shown here in a column. And so your engineers are never far away from your customers. So they will get all these feedback. Again, on the features as well, you can add business metrics just like we added them on objectives, because you're also releasing your features to move the metric. And these metric can also come from your business objectives themselves, because a business objective may have like 5 different metrics that they want to improve, and your feature is handling one of them or cascading them. It is up to you to decide. And then the other thing is you can also collaborate together with your team on a whiteboard like this, because when you're working on something, you might want to run some experiments, or you might want to do some architectural designing, some diagrams and whatnot. You can also pick things from our library to make collaboration efficient and effective, and so on. So basically, the point is that with Shorterloop, we have tried to build an end-to-end platform that connects everything. Because we are a startup, so we had to start somewhere. The path that we have chosen to connect first is this path, where we connect your feedback, your customer feedback, your value proposition, which is your market research, to your opportunities. We help you identify a solution, and all this is tied to your business objectives. And then with experiment and so on, you can turn that into work items, which are again indirectly connected to feedback and market research. And that solution is released into the market, and you can start measuring it. So I would, if this is of any interest at all to you, it is very important to be efficient as a product team, but even more important is to be an effective product team. So not only you have to deliver product fast, but you have to deliver products that are valuable. And you can only do that when there is a seamless flow of information, right from all the customer interactions all the way to your release plans and your launches. And if this is something that concerns you, or if you find this important, then I highly encourage you to at least try out Shorterloop and see for yourself how everything connects. That's my part. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, there is a question from Ankur. He is asking, how does Shorterloop's AI/ML integrated approach to point-based solutions and end-to-end platforms help in delivering faster and reducing risk in terms of customization, implementation, and cost?
So, really good question. This is something that currently we are working on. So one thing that you already saw, which is we use AI to reduce your cognitive load, and we connect or we generate summaries of different ideas, and we also generate opportunities and so on. But eventually we want to integrate your product analytics with Shorterloop. So you will be able to import, we don't want to build a product analytics suite because there already exists, Amplitude exists, or Mixpanel exists, Google Analytics exists. So we don't want to build that. But you will be able to import, let's say, events from your product analytics into Shorterloop, and you will be able to answer questions like, what are the top 3 most important journeys or top 3 most frequent journeys in my product? And what is the customer sentiment around that? So that is one type of question. Other type of question is, who are my buyers of my tool versus who are my power users? And what is the biggest problem faced by my power users when they are trying to use my product? So we are still discovering how to implement that, and we are still integrating some of the tooling and so on around that. But in couple of months, you will be able to answer questions like that with Shorterloop, and that is our vision for AI ML. So not only, generative AI is interesting, like generate personas for me, or generate biography, or generate this text from the letter that I'm trying to write. It's fine, it's interesting, but it's okay. The more interesting use case for AI is, I have this vast amount of data. Someone needs to synthesize it and give me the insights using that data to tell me, okay, what do I need to do next? Or what is the big problem I need to solve next? And that's where we're trying to go. And that's our vision. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
No other
Okay,
questions.
sir. Got it. Thank you.
All right then.
One
Thank you,
quick thing
everybody.
I just would, thanks, Kingshuk, thanks for taking time in explaining it. One quick, I would like to add a comment to what Ankur you asked. So we are currently integrated with any analytics tool that is supporting the time series analysis. What Kingshuk meant here is we keep on adding more and more integration. So currently we are integrated with Jira, Slack, any other analytics like Google Analytics, Amplitude, Gain Insight, and there are many whichever is supporting time series data. Over time, you want to see how you are performing, so you can bring those data in terms of CSV or JSON. But yes, there are a lot of other point-based tools which we would like to integrate so that you are able to benefit everything in one place and you don't have to go to so many places. So that's what Kingshuk was talking about. Yeah, because a product is always live when it keeps on developing. Rather than other than that, there is no fun being a product development company. You have to keep on
Yeah,
developing. Keep
we
on
are a
improving.
we believe in continuous discovery ourselves. So we
Yes,
are continuously looking for the next problem to solve and make the lives of our users easier and better. So
yes.
we are aiming to make the teams that use our product effective, efficient, and effective. That is the keyword for us. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thanks, Ankur. Any other questions before we move forward? We now have a guest speaker session, and I'm sure that you all are waiting for it. So if you guys don't have questions, let me go ahead and welcome Saraswati Nirmal. She is the strategic product manager in Ericsson. Hi, Saraswati. A warm welcome to you in our session today. How do you think this is going so far?
I think you have a very good product in your hand. I think the demo was when you explained it, I'm trying to correlate with what we do, where are the gaps, and what all things we could be doing better. So I think it's a very promising tool and something definitely I'm looking forward to, probably trying out myself and see how we can create better efficiencies ourselves. So I think it's a great tool, and I think both the demo, the explanation by you and Kingchuk was really really good.
Thank
So
you so
thank
much.
you for that.
Thank you. Great. It's great having you once again. We have been trying to contact with her from last few months, but finally she has some time for us. So guys, please do utilize this session to know more from her experience. I will quickly go through her enriching experience that she has over the 22 years. She is a seasoned professional having experience in program and product management across Europe and Asia with over 10 years of expertise in driving digital transformation, leveraging people, process, and technologies to create value. Saraswati is recognized for her thought leadership in disruptive technologies such as cloud and AI, driving impactful business changes. Currently, she works as a strategic product manager at Ericsson, having also worked in companies like Nokia and Accenture in various roles. Academically, she holds a master's degree from the Tampere Institute of Technology in Finland and a BE from Pune University. In her current role, she is responsible for the entire compliance product line, ensuring the desired business value and technology capabilities are delivered through the right products. She is end-to-end responsible for the strategy, vision, and delivery of the product, as well as total product cost and operation. Saraswati, it's once again a great session with you. So we will have some rapid fire round, and guys, please watch and do take notes. So with that, my first question, what do you think so far, given your own experience, if you have used a point-based solution and also have used an end-to-end product management solution, what are the pros and cons that you have identified?
So if see, most we are still not using a end-to-end product like shorter loop. You just showcase shorter loop, but definitely, that being said, I mean, with an end-to-end solution you have improved collaboration, all the points that you highlighted, especially now when we are so data driven, making decisions, having everything as a single source of truth. Also better UX, having consistency across all the tools and platforms, and certain limitations, like it was resonating with me when you were talking about that we, for all the point solutions, we need to have licenses, sharing information. Somebody has access, somebody doesn't have access. and the overall, overall efficiency on when you're using point based systems. We do have integrations in place in many of these areas, but it's not the same as maybe an end to end system. There are things that are still very very manual when you come to an end to end, a point based system, when everything is not end to end. So I think all of those things would be optimized, especially time to market. We are all agile and other things, but still there are, chunks where there are a little bit of a gap, I would say, when it comes to point solution. And also from an overall perspective, like, from a governance, identifying risk, maybe even compliance across all the tools, speaking the same language, data compatibility. There are a lot of things that are improved because of a end-to-end system. And another challenge that I have, that might be very specific, is that, when you have multiple tools, different units using different tools for the same purpose, consolidation of all of these tools, all of these things, I mean, it resonates in a different way, that, probably having one single source of truth would definitely add much more value.
Right, right. Thank you so much, Saraswati. Guys, any questions for her? I have a few more questions, but feel free, Ankur, Avnesh. I do see a lot of people who are there who have been silent so far. So please ask questions. I will also ask you one quick question that's coming to my mind, Saraswati. Given that you have worked in Nokia, Accenture, and in Ericsson, and you have been always into the program management and product management role, how do you see that? What are the common silos in the companies that has hindered the product development and also the innovation?
Yeah, so I mean, silos can be multiple silos, right? They could be geographical silos. They could be technical silos. They could be other, departmental silos, and all of the other silos. So I think, and also, the lack of transparency between the different teams and other things. So all of them create silos. And also, when you're using, when there are different teams and they're using different tools for their purposes, that also creates a lot of silos. Lack of, say, standardized processes creates silos. Lack of transparency, visibility. I mean, also sometimes communication does not happen in a timely manner from one unit to the others. So all of these things lead to silos. So I mean, it's not only one type of silos that we deal with. It's like multiple silos, and sometimes people are also very possessive about the things that they do. So that it's like prioritization also creates issues, I would say.
Right, right. No, I totally agree when you were resonating that each and everything, like when we really think as a big organization, each and everything, if there is a time delay, there is an expectation that mounting on the product management or a program management, and then every time there is a review call and we say that we are driving here, okay, we are green here, but we are red and amber here. It creates a very big problem as the entire program management, and of course risk and the compliance comes on top of it, because when we are working with so many countries, that crossing the barrier and also the borders, it also gives you very alert about identifying what are the biased, and because of AI there are a lot of other ethical biases that coming up, right? So how do you really keep up to those challenges as well? Yeah. I would also like to understand from you, do you have a specific case study that you think typically from the collaboration and the communication of product teams, could be a product management and product development, or could be the overall product teams, where you think these kind of end-to-end solutions could be the right choice, or it could be solving the big problems? Or any case study that you have in your mind?
I mean, I think, from what I saw and what I understand about the end to end, I mean, they cater for a wide variety of use cases. It could be, single instance, or it could be something that we are already using but we are trying to improve. So it could be like I would say that it could work for startups plus or standalone applications, and also for bigger enterprise systems. The example, if I give, like I work a lot with the compliance area, right? So sometimes what happens when we are doing product development, or in my case, the product development also means that we also make or buy decision when we are looking at from a business perspective. A product could be something that we make from scratch, that we already have, with leveraging whatever technologies we probably want to use as a distinguishing factor later on for selling outside, or in some cases we take out of the box tools. But irrespective of what the use case be, when we are actually rolling out the tool internally or across regions, there are a lot of challenges, and a lot of the things that we probably are not capturing. It's in silos. It's been discussed, but it doesn't end up when we are actually deploying things like say privacy requirements, compliance requirements, regulatory requirements. So having a single source of truth that covers from the time the idea is initiated, and then, like Kinshuk was showing, the application, having prompts or something helping us to capture what are all the regional requirements that we need to take into consideration, and taking it to fulfillment, is something that would be a great use case for a end-to-end solution, because we do get a lot of surprises at some points that we haven't considered from a maybe from a development perspective, or from a process perspective it's been looked at, but maybe from work council or regional perspective, we have missed out on certain things. So from that perspective, I think this is a very good use case, because now I'm trying to compare with whatever challenges we have as well.
Right, right. The other question that I have is that what do you think would be the metrics or the KPIs? Yes, Ankur asked, but this is typically towards this as a company that you have worked for, for the product management. What has been always the metrics or the KPIs that you have tracked to measure the success of implementing a particular product management platform, or after launching that particular product, what are those KPIs that you have successfully measured, and how do you use, what tools you used, if you can share some of your reflections.
See, couple of things definitely are there, right? The quality of the product, what was planned, what was delivered, customer CSAT surveys and customer satisfaction is one thing. Also, in the kind of company that we have, it's like the cross functional collaboration that we have. Time to market is definitely one of the KPIs that we have, and also productivity, the return on investment. So I mean, there are different parameters, but based on the project or the product that we have in hand, this has varied quite a bit, Sudipta. And of course, cost is a big parameter for us, because when we do the development as well, it's not just about the product and the product development delivery also. It's the entire life cycle as well. What improvements we have, what is the total cost of ownership. So these are definitely parameters. And of course, we do have a lot of the surveys and other things that we roll out after it's been done, to get the pulse and the feedback of how things have been done as well.
Got you, got you. One question that also coming to my mind, that given that we are having a lot of PMs and also aspiring PMs in this platform, what is that your advice to those product managers or the aspiring PMs that who are considering switching for a point-based solution to an end-to-end kind of a platform, and when they are transitioning, what are the key things that they have to look into their mind, and also have to they need to be aware of, and they will try to avoid doing those shitty areas or gray areas while they're moving from the point-based solution to a unified product management solution.
So I would say that it's important to understand what you have today in your current landscape. That is one of the first starting points, to see that what is that we have today, and what is the feedback from the stakeholders and others that what are the gaps and what do you say? How do I explain it? Um, that what is the existing, what are all the tools, all the point based
Right.
tools that you have in your landscape, what is the problem that you're trying to address. So getting feedback also from the stakeholders as to and understanding the gap is the first starting point.
Hmm.
Of course, also the trying to address what is that you're you know are you utilizing some of the new technologies that are going to be there, because a lot of the point based systems that we have in the company are kind of old and not up to date. So are you also looking forward looking when it comes to an end to end, what and also doing some kind of surveys, getting feedback from not only the tools, does it support all kind of from a process perspective and other, an end-to-end goal. I would say that is more important in understanding that what kind of tool you should look at.
Right. Yeah. I think the whole point what you are saying is like identify your main goal, your company's needs, and your stakeholders' needs, and what is that most pressing needs, and of course looking into the budget, looking into the value that you get, and then you kind of identify those few of the shortlisted tools, and then you do a kind of a very narrow and deep comparison, and then based on that you come up with the right solution that you think would be the fit for it, your overall organization.
I would say that, yes.
Okay, great. I have another question from audience coming up, but before that, I would like to understand from you is that given that the future product management trends that is moving and a lot of new technologies coming, what do you think as a product leader should use those technologies while also doing a justice to the product management? I mean, uh, everything should not be AI based. At the end of the day, it's a enabler or enabling mechanism for a product manager to increasing their productivity and helping them to think more, having the right kind of ideas at a shorter time. But what are the key things that product managers should be keeping in mind when they look into these new technologies or the future product management trends?
Yeah, I will say that the holistic vision that you have. It is important that the strategy, if the business has a strategy or the customer strategy is there, you from ideation to delivery, you're able to deliver end to end, right?
Hmm.
Also things like if you're moving from a point based things, right now the integrations are evolving continuously, right?
Right.
So we also need to see that you're able to integrate with the existing system, but at the same time also have then to things like agility and agile lean methodologies, that are something that we really need to look at as well. And also, of course, you cannot say no to AI and ML and other things, because especially with so much emphasis on a data driven decisions and other things, those are also important things that we need to look. Data is the single source of truth, and more and more as we approach, we will also be looking at more data driven decisions and stuff. So those are things that we will definitely need to embrace. But at the same time, you need to also have a look at how the overall efficiency is improving. And also when you're looking at the new tools, there are a lot of things from a compliance, risk, or even sustainability perspective. These are new things that we will have to embrace, and everybody will need to incorporate it in some form or the other. So I think the approach should be that whatever be the selection or whatever be the choice of things, it has to be forward looking, but keeping to the your what do you say, ethics and ethos of the company as well.
Right. I absolutely agree on this. Now you have one last question from the audience that what are the most significant challenges product managers face during the product life cycle? And how can effective product management software help mitigate these challenges?
Okay. So I think we've covered this in detail quite a bit. But if I really want to highlight it, there are a lot of challenges when it comes to product management, and no one use case is the same as the other. So there are different challenges, but if you now look at it, and especially from the topic of discussion today, lot of the solutions, if it's point to point, are inefficient, right? There are manual processes, there is miscommunication, there are complicated workflows and other things. So when it goes from ideation to planning to development to deployment, there is lots that is lost in translation as well. And while you're doing all of this, the communication, collaboration and other things are definitely a challenge. If you work in silos, there is also delayed decisions. But that being said, but I think keeping, making sure that the business requirements or the customer requirements are met, and you are able to take it in a very agile way from beginning to the end and actually delivering a product. I think it is, what do you say? It is it. There are its own challenges, and they're never the same. So making sure that whatever was the strategy or whatever was the vision is what is delivered, and of course, in many cases, it also changes. And I would like to say that what Kingshuk said kind of resonated with me as well. That this happiness or this customer satisfaction is very fleeting. So that also causes a lot of challenges when you're doing a product development, and especially when in many cases your customer could also be an internal customer.
Correct.
I,
Yeah,
I hope
totally.
that I hope that was the question. I'm not even sure what your question was.
No, I think you answered because they wanted to know what are those challenges and how do you mitigate those challenges. So yes, you did talk about the challenges in previous questions, but now you have jotted it down, simplifying it. Avnish, does that answer your question?
Yes, Minister.
Okay. One question Ankur has also asked that for an aspiring PMs who is looking into this product life cycle management and also want to take up a career in PM specifically, what is the effective product management software can really do to mitigate these challenges, or I would say that effectively prepare for this role and build a strong foundation in product. Sorry, the question as an aspiring PM, what are the steps and the strategies should a aspiring PM take to effectively prepare for this role, for a product management role, and build a strong foundation in product management?
Okay, this question is for me.
So let's take, yeah,
Yeah.
questions for you.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, see, tool is one aspect of product management. It is more about understanding what exact, being able to put somebody's vision on paper and converting it into reality, right? So there are a lot of methodologies that do exist. I mean, from design thinking to many ways of working. Everybody works very differently, but I think it's more important that you understand what the concepts are. In some cases you will have a lot of information, in some cases you will have minimal information. So based on how much information you have, and you will have to take a different approach. So basically design thinking, having an agile mindset, exploring different ideas, all of these are part of product management, right? So having your concepts clear and understanding how you can convert a basic idea, like the demo that you saw as well, adding, iteratively improving it. So nobody is good from day one, but taking a concept and then translating it into a actionable plan is the first starting step, I would say. So I can't say do one particular thing to become a good product manager, but half of it is learning and trying out your hand with what needs to be done, taking decisions on what is the right approach, I would say.
Sorry, I didn't realize I'm muted. So I totally agree. The design thinking, knowing the AI, and ability to look into the what customer is really looking for, able to look at your competitor, and therefore what is the real need that has not been solved in the market. And as a product manager, what is that wow factor that you can bring, so that your customers will really feel valued because their problem has been solved. A person really gets attracted to a product when the problem is being solved. It's not the beauty, it is not the external beauty, it is the your utility in a
Right.
day-to-day
No, no,
different way.
beautifully
Yes,
put. Beautifully put. No, I don't think I
yeah,
put it that nicely, but yes, you're absolutely right.
yeah. So with that, I totally love discussing, Saraswati, with all the questions and the reflection that you had. Any last comments for our users before we get into the closure part of it? Any other questions, Saraswati? Any remark from your side?
No, I'm really looking forward to trying Shorter Loop myself. So I would encourage all the users to try Shorter Loop as well, because I think it will give us certain insights that are probably, certain times trying is gives you a better insight into what can be done better. So yeah, give it a. I'm definitely going to try. So I'm hoping others will as well.
Thank you so much. That is really very kind of you. And yes, we do really want that all of you give it a try, share your feedback. Feedback makes a product better. And it is a continuous journey any product development company takes. So with that, I would like to have a quick one, probably just wanted to show you what you can do in Shorter Loop. Just a quick 1 minute. So if you guys go to shorterloop.com, you will be seeing this is the our homepage, and you can actually gather a lot of use cases that we are providing, plus all the capabilities of the products that we were talking, and all those diagrams that Kingshuk showed, and I also showed a few of those. You can actually understand and get a better under how you can resonate with what we have talked today. You can actually do that. Then we have these case studies here, all the white papers of different industries on AI in product management, different other on the continuous discovery, user feedback, the blog side here. You can go ahead and subscribe yourself. Plus, we have our LinkedIn and the YouTube portal. So if you guys go down, you will find our LinkedIn and all other channels. So you guys can go ahead and subscribe. And yes, there are some special offers we are running, given that it is summer, lovely, beautiful summer in Europe and also in US as of now. So yeah, with that in mind, we want you to do try our product, love it or hate it, but give us the feedback, and that keeps us going. So with that, I'll come to an end, and thank you so much, guys, for listening. And it's a pleasure again doing this kind of webinar and talking to all of you. Do let us know what should we bring next time in our next session. We are also coming up with the product management course, which actually helps you to prepare for 8 hours. It's a dedicated session that Kingshuk will be doing a live session from 20th August to 23rd of August. And we are also doing a lot of product meets. On 4th of August in Mumbai, we are doing founders and products meet in Kandivali East. So if you have your friends, or if you have some great product gurus or founders, they want to come and talk to us, the breakfast cost is on us. Sunday morning, 10 to 12 p.m. we are doing this, and we are also having this product course that is coming on 20th August to 23rd of August, every day 2-hour session. And there are also some great discounts running. So thank you so much for listening to us, and have a great night. And we look after and we look forward to receiving your feedback, and we do want you that you take some rest. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Okay, guys. Bye bye.